All right. I'm trying to just fix I can't fix the title unfortunately for this week, but let me see if I fixed it on YouTube. It doesn't look like I fixed it on YouTube either. But yeah, learning the platform. I just copied the event in Restream and apparently that does it. And then if you change the title, apparently it doesn't change it everywhere. So TIL, let me just share that in Discord, and then so I can open it on my screen here. All right, sick. All right. Let me go back here. All right. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get anyone today because it's not the first stream anymore. But yeah, I'm back from CloudFest. It went great. I haven't had a lot of time to work on Ymir this week. Actually, I've been mostly like catching up on stuff. So this is a great time to putter away on Ymir. So we're gonna get to it. I already had a bunch of stuff that we started actually last time that we're gonna kind of try to finish today. So the first thing is, let me bring this up. Okay, so last time we did this SDK. We added the engine. I've actually pushed all this into production now. I just want to look at the SDK if it has release. Yeah, it has release, please. So what we need to do at this point is create the new release. So that was already on the way. No, it didn't create the. Oh, interesting. So it hasn't created feature and chore. So it never recreated the release. So what happens if we try to do this manually? So that'll be our first job for today, is figure out why this didn't work. If it's just I'm dated. I'm gonna also look if I've updated this to, I haven't worked on the SDK that much because it's relatively stable. There's not, the SDK only gets changed really if I make any sort of changes to, oh, I think I know what it is. Did I, yeah, okay. So it bugs out because we'll see when I do the release. It's like, honestly, if anybody, I tried to figure that out at the hackathon, like a better way to do like this release stuff, but it's a bit janky with my workflow. So now, like, if we try to do this again, so it doesn't like that there's a tag, it uses the tags to do the releases, but because I don't actually do the releases quite the same way, or the ideal way that they want, like it doesn't, I don't want to create like packages and all that stuff. So like, let's just see if this actually does the package itself, the PR itself. And we might need to tweak a little something. So I had a change here where I skipped GitHub release. I put that as true, but I forget if this is like how I'm doing it elsewhere. Really, please config. Yeah, okay. So we need to put that in too before we go. Yeah, I'm struggling a bit to keep this kind of standardized. Okay. Oh, no, wait, I removed it. Okay, so it's just a removal, but I don't. So, okay, everything else is the same. So did we get a PR now? Perfect. Okay, we have the PR. Yeah, so it doesn't like it when you do this. Like it just, it basically, you have to merge it. I'm not exactly sure like how you do it correctly, but one of the issues that I have actually just in general with release please is that it's hard for me to update version numbers automatically in other places. So that's going to be part of the release that we're doing today. So if I go to here, sorry, I have a million things open. So that's just the way I work. So if we go to the SDK here and I do fetch, we'll have the branch here. And I always basically check out the branch as, let's say, release. And so what we're going to need now is to update the version number for the client, which is 1.21. So this is going to become 1.30. And then I just usually do a little commit here, like bump version. The commit message actually doesn't matter at all, because really what we're going to do is bump this up. Yes, you didn't like this, probably version number issue. That's fine. So we push that up. And on here, we'll have this. Yeah, it's going to do all the code quality checks, but again, not super concerned with this. And then what I do usually is use squash and merge. I cleaned this up because I don't want all of this. So we just commit, squash and merge to commit, delete the branch, and then I go back here, we fetch. We can delete this orphaned branch now, and we just pull, so I have the same stuff, but yeah, it's just those three files. So the release manifest gets updated, the changelog gets updated, and now we just need to tag. So we do v130, and we are good. Can push all the tags, and that wraps up what we were trying to do with the with the SDK. So now we have our engine option, and we can just go from there. Oh, maybe the right approach would have been to add the default. Yeah. Okay. Well, I messed up on that. Let's go now to the CLI. All right. So CLI, now we're in a process. I've done a lot of work in February, like this huge refactor I've talked about to just get ready for the radical, which I did here. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to test that today. We'll see where we get. So this kind of wraps up what we needed to do with the SDK. We can close the project and go to the CLI now. Okay, so CLI. First step first, we need to bump this to 1.3. We did that. So if I do composer update, we have that. So, and next we're going to work on the caches. So what was I doing? Oh, return. Okay, command cancel exception. Okay, I'll commit that eventually. I have a lot of trace things. So command cancel is the way I short circuit the whole CLI application to just stop. And here I was just doing a return, which is not ideal. So right now we have API client. So we have my API client, which is a wrapper around the cache. So the type, so now we're missing the engine. So we need to add string engine. We also actually need to do this into, oh no, this doesn't use an interface. Okay, perfect. So string engine, and this option is string engine. So just the signature stays the same. Oh, I'm an idiot. String engine. And at this point, this covers this part, but we don't have the engine here. So, so first we asked, what is the name? So we need to add the engine. So the first thing we're going to do is add an option for that. So name, network. So I try to do the options alphabetically. So this would be add option engine with value required. Yeah, and Copilot kind of auto completes, but it's kind of so it's using the same logic as before. This is kind of good enough for what we're trying to do. And at this point, we need to get the engine. So let's say we have string options, but we need to get the option for determine the type. So I usually do these helper functions here. So here, I'm not sure if I need to do this because this is a bit more expansive than I need to. Because here we're getting all the types from but here we know what the types are. It's basically Redis or Valkey. So we're going to actually do a default for that. So yeah, description default. And we're going to make the Valkey the default now. Oh, this is not the right thing. What are the options? What's the signature here? So name, shortcut, we did null for that. Yeah, null for the shortcut, mode, description, default, mixed. Default value must be input. Not too sure why it's not liking that, but let's just keep continuing with Valkey here. And see what happens when we're going to test this anyhow against my account. And so here we have determine the type. Before we do the type, we'll do the engine. So the engine should be get string option engine. And if we're going to do str lower, just to be sure, if not in array engine, because we only support basically Redis and Valkey. Oh, Valkey. Yeah. Invalid input exception. Is that the exceptions I use? Yes. Perfect. So yeah, so there it did a good job. So at this point, we have the engine, we have the type, so we have the name. So we want network ID, name, engine type. So we just pass it engine. And that should cover what we're trying to do here for creating the Valkey cache. So at this point, what we want to do is test this out. So we're going to do that just from command line. So from the command line, I can actually just do in this directory. And then we can you can do cache create help, and it should show that engine default Valkey. So we're definitely in the same section. So now I want to do team select, make sure I'm on my team. So I'm team number 2. And from here, we're going to try it. So cache create. The only thing I'm wondering is if I should offer it as a wizard. I do a lot of that. So normally I like asking questions if you don't supply the option. I don't use the defaults that often. So I'm debating if I should just do something to just ask, because I can just do the types and be like, do you want to do a Redis or Valkey? But not 100% sure if that's too much here. Like I said, I like having kind of this interactive flow a lot, but maybe here it's okay if we default to something else, because oh shoot, actually this cache type stuff is going to be different when it comes back to because I changed the format around that. So we're going to actually have some interesting stuff with this. So, okay. Well, let's start here and see what we get. So what's the name? Valkey test. And do it my standard network, not the Tokyo one. Yes, I don't have a NAT gateway, so we will want one. Yeah, okay, so see, yeah, it's broken here. Because what's happening is, let's cancel here. So what I end up doing here is that when you get the cache types now, it's going to return an array with all the information. So we have to. So if we go back to this Valkey test 0, and we add the NAT gateway. Again, nothing happens here quite yet. So yeah, so I changed the format to get back from that we get back, because it didn't make sense anymore. Like, I'm trying to give you an estimate of how much it's going to cost, but now the values are different, right? So if you have a 62, like a 16 CPU, 105 gigabit, I think, of RAM. But see, it's going to cost you 1,300 with Redis and 1,000. So I need a way to expose these prices for the types. So we're going to need to rework that code as well. And I also have to go back and look at the Ymir app stuff. I have just to get the format. So if we just go back to PHP Insight, add Valkey as, so I used to store all of this, getting some insights. This is like, there's so much work in progress stuff that in there, so don't disregard that. But I used to basically store the types with the strings. So we want to keep this format. We need the CLI to basically regenerate this format now. And but change the prices roughly. So that's what we're going to need to do based on the engine. So instead of just determining the type, we're going to need to do the type, determine type by passing it the engine as well. I think that's probably the easiest option here. Because yeah, we get the cache types. This returns a collection. And so determine type, pass it the engine. And now basically one of the things that I cannot stress enough how much I like collections as a library. Like I either put it in all my projects, or I rewrite it, like the Ymir WordPress plugin has it. And just really handy because now what we can do is we can basically map. So you can map with key, but we actually don't need to map with key because the keys are okay. But we basically will function and so, all right, are we going to call it type? I don't think so. Like, it's going to be an array, like, I don't know, details or, yeah, what am I calling this? We'll start with details. And basically, all we need to really do is sprintf. And we can go back here, and I can just copy this, because that's roughly the format. So we copy that, and it'll be S. Yeah, just keep with S and S. And then the values are details, CPU, and price, but we need to use engine, and we pass it the engine too. So this should technically regenerate our strings correctly. So if we try this again, Valkey test. Yeah. There we go. And if we look at, it was 5972 for the Valkey one. So the largest one would have been Valkey 5972. So yeah. So here we go. We have our whole thing. So now we can see cache T4 micro. Okay, so we might actually be in business here. I'm gonna switch here, and I'm gonna hide my screen temporarily because I definitely do not want to log into AWS and show stuff around that. So I'm just gonna log in so we can go check. where are we? Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so we're here. Let's take a look. So we're in Elasticache. If I see Valkey, okay, perfect. So we have Valkey engine 8.01, Ymir managed Valkey cluster. So this is looking really good. And if we just do Ymir, here, if we do cache delete, I don't know if I can actually delete it right away, but we'll see. And yeah, I love this little thing. So we're going to remove our NAT gateway too. Okay. So if we're here, I think it's going to need to wait till it's created and then delete it. So we're going to like continue. We'll come back to this. Okay, I'm correctly. I got scared for a second that I did share my screen back. So so at this point we have what we need to commit. So I'm gonna do two commits. I'm gonna commit that cancel thing at the same time because I think that's correct. So just gonna do my usual micro commit stuff. So it's just I don't know what is this, a chore? Is this a chore? Is this a fix? Yeah, I'm just gonna call it chore. Use command instead of return. Okay, so we got this settled. Yeah, it's really not happy with PHP 4 8.4, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so two important things. We need to bump this, obviously, and then our cache command. So cache command is great. So if we just try again, like something else where I just do engine, foo, Valkey, foo. Maybe we need to validate that early. Look how far we have to get before. Yeah, maybe we need to do something else because we shouldn't get this far before we validate. So let's move this around. So okay, let's think about it. Like, do we want to ask the question? I don't think I want to ask the question. I think this is unnecessary for now. Basically, the Valkey and Redis are essentially the same. So we're just going to move this here and move this validation further up because it makes no sense right now to have that anywhere else. There's no validation here for these things. So it's really a question of, okay, before we even start doing anything, we just need to validate that we got the thing. So now if we do this, yeah. So that makes more sense to me. Like we shouldn't have to do, this much to get to that point. This is given to us straight away. And then we can try if I do val key and then that'll be fine. Yeah, see, that's fine. Okay, so we're good. I think this makes more sense. So we need to update composer. We need to add this. Add that. Add this as well. And yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously biased, but I think collections is so goat. Like I can't imagine not working with collections. Like, I'm gonna go on a small tangent right here, but it's just like, I don't know if he still sells the book, because everybody knows that Adam Watan from Tailwind, right? But like, he wrote like this book a long time ago, Refactoring the Collection, and it's honestly like so freaking good. I wonder if he makes any sales on this anymore, but it's like, you know, also the permanent discount thing. Oh my God, I can't stand that part. But yeah, this was an amazing book. And I even wrote an article based on it a bit. It was like Carl Alexander, like, use arrays. Yeah, how to use PHP function arrays. It was like how to do it without relying on some of the stuff that we, like the collections thing, but it was really good. So yeah, it's great stuff. So small tangent, but really great stuff here. So what are we calling this? So this is a feature for sure. Add support for creating Valkey cache clusters. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have deleted it right away, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. We still have time. This is so slow. Like, okay, did this work? Oh yeah, 6 fixer needs 8.4. Okay, let's just do a quick switch here and see if it stops. I don't want to necessarily cause bugs and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we're good, honestly. And yeah, because the main issue is like I'm starting to standardize on PHP 8.4, but CS Fixer, which is like really important tool for me for keeping stuff standardized. Okay, didn't like the unit test, but that's oh, that's when we were trying to test this thing, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So if we push this up, here, for sure we're not going to have any issues. We'll come back. So while this is happening, yeah, so this is still creating. It's so slow. Like, that's why like the Ymir testing around this takes like hours, because it's like it takes forever for this to come online. But the good news is that we can do list caches. So Ymir cache list. Yeah, so now it's deleting. Perfect. So we should be seeing deleting here. No, it's still creating. So what we want to do here with the list is that we also want to add the engine, basically. So Name, provider, network, region, status, type. So engine and then type. So we'd have cache engine, and this would work. Yeah. So now we can see what engine it's using. Always never super clear what's the best way to, what's the best. Oh, we did create an error. Okay, what happened here? Oh, okay. Actually, good catch. We did not add. That's why CI tools, they're great. I should listen to them more when I'm on my local development environment. But yeah, we forgot to add the API client. So this should fix it. I amend and force push. So if that is also not standard, but it's a liberty that I can take working for myself, and I can keep my Git history more cleared up. Okay, so going back, we add the engine here. So now we can see the engine as well. So we can add that as our next little commit. Feature add cache engine to. I'm so not fast at typing that this feels faster. Add cache engine to cache list command. Perfect. Let's go. Skip this. And we should be good here. Continuous integration. Well, it's still running. Yeah, exactly. It's finished. Okay, perfect. We fixed it. Let's push this up as well as add cache engine to cache list command. So this wraps up. Right now, I don't let you modify. I believe you can change the type. But I have to test this more thoroughly, so I'm not going to support it yet. And honestly, yeah, I want to add it. I'll add it, but I need to check, because right now the issue is that AWS is kind of like aggressively pushing Valkey. So if I create like a Redis cache, it'll be like, hey, do you want to upgrade to Valkey, 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 Valkey? But so they make it really easy from the console to upgrade to Valkey. Like I think even in like, yeah, they have their announcement here. And then if you go Redis open source, like, do they even, yeah, like, look at that. Like, this is like crazy. Like I was talking to somebody at CloudFest during the hackathon. And I was like, I've never seen this kind of like upsell, like this such aggressiveness towards not using a specific tech stack, like, or tech solution by AWS. Like they're really pushing you so hard to not use Redis anymore. And it's really crazy to me, but yeah, so that's it. So they're like, continue with Redis open source. Like it's insane. Like it's insane the push that they're doing for that. And they're just like idemodal for 2 weeks. Like it's crazy. Like makes no sense to me. But yeah, so I'm not currently sure, and I haven't done tests on it. I'm not sure if it's a two-way. You can upgrade. You can change how. You can change it from Redis to Valkey and back again, because at least from the console you can't. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they like don't let the API do it. So it's just a one-way thing. So it makes me a bit hesitant to offer the option here. Like I could maybe do an upgrade to Valkey thing, but honestly, like it doesn't take that long and you could just delete. Okay, so it's deleting. Yeah, so it's just sometimes I fail and we're gone basically. But sometimes I fail to trust myself or my past self at like stuff, but it's just, yeah, you can queue tasks with Ymir. Like you can create the cache, delete it, and it'll do both tasks. Like it'll do everything. So, and even if I go to cloud formation. No, what's it called again? Yeah, cloud formation. I don't know why it didn't come up. Yeah, so I have this here, and I shouldn't have an ad gateway anymore, basically. But update complete, resources, gateway. Yeah, it looks gone. Oh, that's Ymir, do not delete, sorry. Yeah, so, but it's really interesting. Yeah, so sometimes I lose track of basically myself and I forget like that I did all these things. But yeah, so for the modify one, I'm not sure right now if I'm gonna offer it. I don't think there's enough people using Redis right now with Ymir. Like, I think I don't want to go on the database, but I figure there's like maybe 20 or so caches active right now, if they're even active. Like maybe somebody deleted them, but at least tracked by Ymir. So it just doesn't make sense right now to have the modify. You can just delete and recreate one. And that'll be good enough for now. So that covers this part. And then now we have, so now at this point, we also have radical support. And project type, radical project type. So we have radical support. And I do have a test project with radical. So let's stick with here with this window. So if I do projects, I just want to make sure, because this is like the two things I want to test today before, because when we're done, we're going to basically tag a new version of the CLI, and then that'll probably wrap up what I'm going to work on for today. But the main thing is that I've done a large refactor. I'd set up a test project. I know Radical came out with a new like major release, so I haven't tested that yet. So there might be some tweaks I need to do around that, but I don't have a project set up right now. So Ymir, is it Ymir support that has? Yeah, demo Radical, cool. Okay, so this is here. And if we go check in Lambda here, yeah, there's a million Lambdas here. Okay, Radical's here, so cool. So last updated a month ago. Okay, so let's try deploying it and see what happens. So I want to see where I'm at. So we're gonna deploy. Before I do that, let's just look at the. Yeah, so for this, basically, this is the new support type. So I'm basically supporting Radical, and then the rest is just kind of handled for you thing. So let's go. Let's try it. Let's see if it breaks. I believe while we're doing while this is running, the project. If I looked at commands, if we just go back to add support for radical, move all project specific logic to distinct classes. So this was the big rework I did. So yeah, so I covered the plugin initialization now, and basically I just do all the project types. So this is all good. So this is all in. Yeah, this is one of the challenges that I can't work on this full time, is sometimes like I lose context of what I was working on, what's committed, what's not. Like even, you know, even on the Ymir app side, like I'm releasing Radical, but I never finished the whole testing that I wanted to do for it. So I'm just I'm focusing on that right now. I didn't test the Radical stuff like in continuous integration, because I'm gonna do a heavy rework, refactor, similar to what I ended up doing here. It probably won't have to be of this magnitude. This was a significant refactor, and it was great. The CLI definitely needed it, and I think long term it'll be great once this kind of all wraps up, I'm working on Laravel for the next few months. Like that's the main thing I'm working on, because I will probably pay for, when does my Vapor renewal happen? Like I think February. So it literally just happened. So I basically have like 11 months or so to ship this, which it won't be too long, because I already needed Ymir integration not installed in the build directory. Interesting. Okay. Cat. So with this, what do we have? We have the Ymir Laravel bridge. Oh, but we don't have the plugins. So it is correct. And so Composer. Actually, let's just look in. Why am I making this up? Radical project type. So in the project type now, I basically do all the stuff that you're going to need to install. So here would be Ymir app WordPress plugin. Acquire. Cool. So this is still using the dev main branch. Like I think I symlink it in, but that's okay for now, because does the Laravel bridge have a release actually? It does. Okay, so let's actually fix that too. Composer. Let's just open this in VS Code. Oh. Okay, so we have this in VS Code. So in Composer JSON, yeah, see, I had this. I was basically doing that, but let's change it to 0.1 and update and see what happens. Composer update. Like we're going to test it with the whole thing. Found dev main, but Oh, let's try, but does that work? No. Why is it saying that? Oh my! Oh, I think I know. Okay, I never made a release on. Wah 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 wah. Okay, let's do this. We're doing the whole thing. We're figuring out all the bugs and all the things. So 1 second, let me log in to stuff. Sign in, username, stuff. Okay. Browse. Submit. That's fine. I don't. Perfect. Okay, we're good. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let me bring you all back in. I put it back to, okay, we're back. Okay, I have no idea how this all works. So let's go back, update. Okay, we got it. So we have the Laravel bridge v0.1. We have the plugin. So we are good to go now. And yeah, so again, it's the challenge of the part-time working is that you make small mistakes and it's hard to keep the context of everything that you're working on. I think this is a good time to bring up why testing is so important. I do a million freaking tests, and it's for that reason, because it's really hard, even if you work on something full time, to remember everything, but it's even harder when you're not working on something full time. So I'm just really happy that I have all this stuff to keep me working properly. So yeah, so at this point, we have the project initialization stuff done too. That one, we can try to test it actually after we do the deploy. We can try initializing the project again, because it's like, I love doing that because it's so freaking fast and easy to do. So we're going to do that after we finish the deploy. Oh, this didn't work here. Oh, there's no more space. So that's another thing I built. So Docker, delete images all. This should do it. Yes. This is just like helper stuff that I built over time because, yeah, you run out of space, especially for me. I have a lot of projects, as you can see on my console, and I basically have to clear it on a pretty regular basis. So what we're going to do is, while this is going to deploy, and then once it's deployed, we'll be able to see if everything worked properly. But as far as I can tell, it should be fine, because that's the same stuff that we did, that I did before, that I was testing. And the main thing was just, okay, we didn't have the plugin install. We didn't release the package on packages, so I couldn't even do like the Laravel bridge stuff. But the main thing after that to confirm that the Radical project support works is just creating a new project and see if it detects it. So we'll do that once it's deployed. And then once that's solved, I'm feeling pretty good about the support right now. Obviously, the bridge is still very much in a kind of alpha stage, because I don't support everything that Laravel has, but it's a good starting point, because Radical, so if we look at Roots Radical, so Roots Radical is basically a framework that their idea is to combine parts of Laravel with WordPress. So it does a lot of that, and it doesn't have everything of Laravel in it, which is good for me, because I don't have to work on integrating everything from Laravel quite just yet. The big missing piece is queues. So queues is something I would like even in WordPress. Human Made, I think, has I think it's called Cavalcade. Yeah, Cavalcade, I believe, is what I want to look at. I take a lot of inspiration. Like, there's some really cool people trying very cool things at some of these high-end agencies. Human Made, especially because of Altis. Altis basically is just a whole hosting infrastructure, like on Altis DXP. Like, it's for DXP, I think is oh my god, something experience platform, but I keep forgetting what DXP stands for. But anyways, I think the term failed anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But they basically run everything on AWS. So there's some overlap on how we're doing things and some of the solutions we found. And it's always interesting to get inspiration from them, because this is a really old package, 7 years ago. But basically, they run WP cron and other stuff using a worker system, which is perfect for something like SQS. So like trying to offload, offload jobs and things like that. Like the way I see it, and I'm just going to say it because Filena is with WP Engine and she's listening, but it's like, I figured out what the company was. It's Universal Yums. They're on WP Engine, and I remember doing an interview with Devin, who's their engineering lead. But basically, they sell boxes of foods, like candy and all the stuff that you get every month. But they have to process all their subscriptions at once, basically, and that like taxes. It's a very demanding thing for the infrastructure. So it'd be, I think, using queues and stuff like that would let you process a lot of the subscriptions a lot faster. So I think it'd be an interesting thing long term for me to see how to get that working, so that you can really scale up how fast you can process events and stuff like that from WooCommerce. So something I'm thinking in the back of my head for supporting on the WordPress side, but it will come through adding this via Laravel first. because I don't think I'll make queues optional, and I'm even thinking of making queues like something premium, but I'm not sure yet. So, oh, we're still going. Okay, so it's still deploying. Yeah, this is a bit of a long process, but it's fine. I know how to talk. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff happening that I keep track of mentally, and from other agencies like 10up. 10up, it's the snapshot. WP snapshot is what I think about, but see, it's like, oof. Yeah, it looks freaking abandoned. Oh my, yeah. Issues 22. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. Yeah, so I think this one's kind of dead, but I'm not 100% sure because there's a lot of stuff at 10up that just basically comes online and then. But they, they had 400 commits here, so it's not like they never worked on it. But like we can see, the last patch and it was for the README on top of that. So it's just, oh, this project's deprecated. Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. So there's the new snapshot. Okay, last update 5 months ago. So WP replaces the project for sharing. Cool. But basically, this is another thing I'm looking at. That would be a full-blown feature, basically, like trying to create snapshots of projects, and then you can like use them as templates or whatnot. Like I'm just really interested in figuring out how to get that to work on Ymir. It's too big of a project for me right now, but it's like on my top of list if I could work full time. But Cavalcade and queues and things like that, from what I could see, is a lot less work anyhow. So it's more of a question of figuring out how to do it well and going from there. All right, that's our little segue for now. Did we finish? No, deployment start. Okay, we're almost there. This is always like the challenge when you do deployments. But yeah, so that's a bit what I'm thinking on the Laravel side once I'm done with this, because if I look, I don't really have my to-do list is kind of like a hot mess, but of like consulting and all this other stuff. But I think once I had the radical stuff and I'm working on Laravel, the main thing is getting the queues set up, setting up queues, supporting queues. I figure it'll be something in your file that'll be just queues, and then you'll queue, and then you can configure things about the queue. Like, because again, even in Laravel Vapor, that stuff is kind of a bit basic at this point. If we look at SQS, simple queue service, you can, so there's like, you can have FIFO. I mean, those are stuff from consulting, but basically first in, first out versus standard. So you have different queues systems, and you can configure visibility. There's just a lot of stuff you can do. So it's a question of, the main one is just first in, first out, like supporting both of them is really important, because there's some reasons to use first in, first out. So I think the standard is the best one, but there's a reason to use first in, first out. And if you want to use first in, first out, you should be able to use that if you want. So, maybe there's limitations. Maybe Laravel doesn't work well with first in, first out. I haven't tried it. I just know I needed it for another project, and I basically had to have, I had to do a lot of custom stuff around Laravel to get that to work. All right, we're good. And sorry, that sounded a lot more excited, but we should be able to see the site now. And then if that once that's done, we can try deleting and recreating. Yeah, so there we go. We have our demo radical. It's always a bit, when it comes online the first time, it's always a bit slow. After that, it's like really fast because the stuff is all ready. Okay, so what we're going to do now is my favorite thing to demo, which is we're just going to delete the project. Yes. Yes. All right, so now it's going to delete everything and we're going to recreate. So now we're going to recreate the project ourselves. We'll name it something else. We'll just keep with demo radical just so we can I don't know if I want to rename it to radical demo. Yeah. All right, where are we putting it? US East 1. Yes. And oh, I forgot to check. Did I do? Oh, this is gone now. Rip. Did I do a cat of the Ymir file? Yes, I did. Okay, I want to just use the same production database name. Would you like to use the existing? Yes. Yes, we want to use this. So this is where we're going to do radical. So we're just going to keep the same prefix. So this is what this is going to do is now, like when we recreate the project, it's going to automatically connect to the same database that we had. Would you like to create a staging and demo? We don't need to, so no. Would you like to deploy this image with container image? Yes. Do you want to override it? No. No, we don't need to do that. Okay, so it went through the whole thing, so that's good. Let's look at what happened here. So it figured out the project type was radical. It put all the stuff in. So that part looks really good. Cron, there's no warm up. That's why warm up false means that when we deploy, it takes a little bit of time to come online. But we should be good now. So like if we try to deploy again, so this is going to be maybe a bit long, like the first deploy. But the big difference is going to be it's a different URL. It's going to be a different URL. So we'll be able to compare because here was precious dust, 8CZIGN, whatever. And after that, it's going to be something else. And that'll be the way of knowing that we actually did something else. Yeah, so once that's deployed, we're looking quite good because the project creation worked. What were the other commands that we played with when we did this? Build happens automatically when we're deploying. Oh, there's upload imports, but that one I can't really test with this right now. I think overall we're looking quite good. And we added all these tests. Lovely. Yeah, so I think while this is deploying, we can actually start working on the actual release. Same thing as before. I have to basically check out the branch. I call it release. And we have to do some manual stuff. So if we look here, see, this is going to get updated automatically. But what we need to go is in services and bump the version ourselves. And honestly, I should look into like Claude and stuff like that to see if there's some way to do that. Oh yeah, like see if I want to make tags plural or singular, like it's all over the place right now. So I leave these notes. for me to figure that out. So here what we want to do is just bump the version. So this becomes 1.5, 1.0, and then we just do a little commit around here saying bump version. Usually is just what I put. Oh, no, not comp version, but bump version. Yep, that's fine. Skip. Yeah, this is like so broken now, it's annoying me. But so I push up, and when we look at the CLI now, so CLI is here. Oh, and I should go into the SDK. Speaking of, I'm just like remembering what caused the issue here. So let's go here, remove the label, because that's what bugs everything out every time. It doesn't like, if there's already a release pending, it just doesn't release another one, which makes sense, but it's just, if you merge it yourself, you have to remove the thing. So that's support for radical. Fixed fault native, yeah, that was a bug that I was having for a long time. So like we're looking quite good right now. So I bumped the version. It's running all the tests just for reasons. This is still going, so we're good on that front. But basically, this is all we need to do. And once I'm deployed and everything's good, we'll be able to do the same thing, squash and merge. Sure, I clean all this stuff up because I think it's really not necessary in terms of traces. And yeah, I wish the deploys were faster. How long did the other one take? Yeah, 9 minutes. That was a really long one, actually. Oh, I know why it might be. It makes sense why it'd be a lot slower. I was like, why is this so slow? But I'm actually recording right now. So it's pushing the image up at the same time as I'm like streaming. So it makes a lot of sense that it's kind of choking up and taking a long time. But I just want to make sure that I work before I commit. But yeah, going back to the queues, there's some challenges around that just for creating the queues. I think overall it'll be pretty easy, but it's I'm trying to think how I want to structure it in terms of the environment, you know. So if we like look here, let me bring this one up here. Like so we have, so here's like stuff that I'm thinking about is, okay, let's say you want to do queues. Like, do I just create them by default? So that's an option. But I could just be queue type standard basically, or queue type, you know, FIFO, right? So we could do queue type standard. So if you don't put anything, it won't create one. If you put queue with the type standard, and then I figure this will let us play with some of the settings. Because right now, if we look at the docs of Vapor, you know, they have queues. Currently, serverless applicants may only process one single request web. Yeah, that's valid for us too. So you can create an SQS queue with your project and inject a proper environment variable. So you can have multiple queues. So, okay, so queue name should be a unique. Disabling the queue. So queues false, yeah. So for us, the default would be queues. So it would be queues, and then we would do like default. And then you could do type standard, you know, something like that. But the default would be disabled. So instead, like the way I see it is because we have project types, in the project types, I can basically modify the environment configuration. So we would just, here it just adds the build commands, but we could have like something for queues and whatnot. And then you can do the build steps. Like I'm very happy, honestly, very happy with this system. I think it's going to scale to like all the project types really well. Because it's just, yeah, it took a while to do, but see, now they have queue concurrency. So you can do how many concurrency you want. So how do you see those Lambda triggers, monitoring, queues? Yeah, edit. If I do edit, visibility, timeout, message retention, received. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Oh, no, the issue here is that the queue, so if we look here at Lambda, like if we do Radical again, so we have the Radical demo, staging website, and then we need a new one. So if you need a queue, I would have like Ymir demo staging queue, and then the queue would have the concurrency. But again, individual queue concurrency, emails 10. Yeah, so see, I don't like this because, you know, visibility, timeout, queue memory. It would just really have to be similar to unable to get console cloud function from deployment. Okay, so definitely maybe we broke something. Let's let it run another time and see what happens. Yeah, so they have queue memory. Like I have a feeling it needs to be closer to if I do something with, like if I look at Ymir at the reference, configuration reference. So if we look here, I usually do, so we had the website, the console, which are standalone, but now the way I see it, and I don't know if it's going to be possible to do that, but like it'd be great if you had queue type memory, let's say, yeah, 512. What are the other options that it uses? It uses queue memory, queue database connections, like visibility timeout. Queue job is within 1 minute. If your queue job is not deleted, configure visibility timeout. Okay. So you can do timeout. Let's say we'll just leave timeout here. I'm a bit unclear the impact here for that, but All right. Oh, we're back. Okay. Let me try to fix the stream. And I just wanted the corner. So this should do full screen, and this should be just me. Okay, we look, okay. Let's see on, okay, we're back. We're back. I'm like seeing myself on LinkedIn. Okay, well, I think, okay, well, this is actually, I have to go dig into this. So this is a good place to wrap it up, but at least I got the stream back online, which again, very bizarre that this is, that this happened. But I was just to wrap up a bit what I was discussing before everything died is just I'm spitballing a bit how I'm going to do queues based on some of the stuff Laravel did, but I don't like Laravel. The way they do options is that they really don't want to have any sort of nesting. They try to avoid that as much as possible, but I think it's really important to have something. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe you could put something like this, and the default would be like default or queue, like would be the default name for the. Oh my god, queue. But really, it would be the equivalent of this by default if you don't put. But then you could do something else. You could do like invoicing like they had, and then you could just copy, yeah, like the same thing. So you'd have two queues. So maybe something like that is what I'm thinking about more. And then if you don't put it, it'll be the equivalent of the false, disabling the queue. Queue's false. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm sorry there was like some issues with the stream at the end, but again, I'm trying my best to do things scrappy. So there's no crazy setup here. It's just me tinkering away or puttering away. I should stay on message, puttering away. But that's my main goal, and I will try to be back every 2 weeks. I think that makes sense. But we got a lot further. I just need to figure out why the deployment's not working, and then once that's done, I can tag the CLI version. But like I said, the CLI version is pretty straightforward. We just essentially do what I did and it'll be done. But yeah, so that's it for this time. And thank you for the people that stopped by or people that watch after the fact. I'm just kind of playing around with this live streaming stuff. I just think it's interesting and uses my strengths a bit better. Like I'm verbalizing and all that stuff. So hopefully you find it useful. And leave me comments. Come in the Discord. I should put that somewhere, like the Ymir Discord. But yeah, come in the Ymir Discord and whatnot, and ask me questions there. I try to keep stuff open so that you can see. But that's it. I'll see you soon.